What's up, everyone? Eli here. I have a massive fucking video for you today. I'm moving at the end of the month, so just in a couple days here. So I'm basically, before I packed everything up, I found a shitload of stuff that I haven't shown yet, and I just wanted to get it all done in one swoop. So I got like 50 things to show. I'm doing it all in one video, which normally I would never do. Normally I'd like to break it up and kind of let the shit breathe a little bit, be able to talk about it, but not today. So it might seem a little rushed. I hope it's not a steaming pile of shit. But anyways, here we go. I've been going to this giant thrift store in my town quite a bit lately, almost every Saturday, and I've actually been finding pretty cool stuff. Not really music related, but just other stuff I enjoy showing. So here goes that. I'm a big Clive Barker fan. So I got a couple Clive Barker books I didn't have. Got these two. I don't even think I've been familiar with this series, Imagica. So I got book 1 and 2 of Imagica. Should be good. Like I said, I like all Clive's stuff. I got a little something that has a little bit of relevance today, as much as it ever has anyways, and a big part of my childhood. That is I think this is, I don't remember if this is book 2 or 3, but anyway, it's one of the scary stories to tell in the dark. This is more scary stories to tell in the dark, so I think it's the second one. It could also be the third one. Anyway, this is the original, or one of the originals, like I had when I was a kid, 1984. I didn't have it when I was 2, but I had this like in middle school, I think. I had all 3. Can't wait to get the other 2. I have one other. For those that don't know, there was some kind of legal back and forth between some of the creators of this, and for some odd fucking reason, the artwork, the original artwork, was not available for use for like a long time. They put out reprinted versions of these books with different artwork, and it's still good artwork, but it just does not have. If you read these as a kid and you see them now with different artwork, it's just not the same. Like I said, it's still pretty fucking good artwork, but I mean, it does not hold a candle to Alvin Schwartz's artwork. I mean, dude, considering these are children's books, I mean, this is some of the creepiest artwork you'll ever see. I mean, like, not only did it have a massive effect on a child, but I mean, even looking at this shit as an adult, I mean, it's creepy as fuck. I mean, there's no debating that. I'm a big fan of art, and I'm always out looking for creepy artwork. And man, dude, I've seen little stuff that is creepy on this guy's level. I mean, look at that. It's cool as shit, and the stories are good, and it's classic fucking stuff. And the reason I said it's relevant today is because they just made Guillermo del Toro just made a movie based on those books, and which is cool. I really want to go see it. My buddy Kevin, Full Metal Ginger, he went and saw it like I think 2 weekends ago, and he said it was pretty good. So I got to see that ASAP when I have time. Anyways, there was no way I wasn't going to rant. I could talk about those books for a lot longer. So that was my quick version. Next, this is a book I know very little about. I've heard it's a good book, and I got it dirt ass cheap. So anyways, Lovecraft Country, Matt Ruff. I'm not familiar with Matt Ruff. He's an author who lives in Seattle. Anyways, it's I don't know. I'm not going to read the back of it to you anyway. Go read about it if you want. Sorry I can't spend more time. I heard it's a good book, and I got it for really fucking cheap. Another thrift store book. This just looked cool, and being a fan of horror, who wouldn't buy this? Got the year's best fantasy and horror. Sorry about the glare. 8th annual collection. It has stories by Ray Bradbury, Jonathan Carroll, Harlan Ellison, Stephen King, Nancy Kress, Patricia A. McKillop, Michael Swanwick, Judith Tarr, and Jane Yolen. So there are some names in there I'm unfamiliar with. probably fantasy authors, but that's cool. And there's a whole bunch more on the back too. So yeah, I can't wait to dig into that. There's Neil Gaiman in there, by the way, too. I don't know why he wasn't listed on the front. Pagan Kennedy. How cool would it be if your name was Pagan? My parents named me fucking Eli. They could have named me Pagan. Jesus, man. How fucked was I? A couple more books. This was actually a gift from my son. I don't know where he got this, but it is Blade Runner. He knows I'm a big fan. Obviously, it was marketed as Blade Runner just to, sell it a little better. Originally, it was called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. I'm a big fan of the movie. Never read the book, so stoked for it, man. Also got this. Was familiar with this author, but not this book. Handling the Undead by John Ajvide Lindquist. Sorry, Swedish people. I know I didn't say probably a lot of that right, but I tried. So yeah, this guy wrote Let the Right One In. God damn, I'm sorry about the glare. If you watch any of my videos, you know the lighting always sucks. You're not surprised, but yeah, he wrote the Let the Right One In, which I also haven't read, but I really do like the movie, and I like the American remake a lot as well. So yeah, stoked for that. Whenever I get around to reading it, I'm a slow reader, so I'll get to it. Picked this up at Target for $10, which I thought was really, really fucking cool. I might have shown this in another video. I hope not, because I'm wasting time here. But anyway, Season 2 of Stranger Things. I have the Season 1 set, and this one's even cooler, I think. Clearly, it's made to look like a clamshell VHS box. And they even went as far as to make the cover like grainy and blurry, like they did back in the day, with the plastic. Yeah, you know what I mean. Really, really cool. Sorry about the lighting. You're like, what the fuck is he showing here? So you open it up, and it looks like this. I like how it even has the, rewind, be kind rewind thing. Comes with, Season 1 came with a cool poster. This one didn't. Instead, it comes with just some pictures of the cast, like behind the scenes. Yeah. So that kid really does have teeth. Okay. There's that. Don't know who that guy is. Sorry, buddy. And this one, you gotta love this. This one makes it all worthwhile. So pretty cool, especially that one. And then other than that, you fold this thing down or pull this thing down, and it's got DVDs. Whoops. Anyways, yeah, you know what DVDs look like. It's got Blu-ray and regular DVDs, so you get both. You can give one away or something. So that's cool. I do really like this show. I think I've said it at least once before. And some more thrift store stuff. Got Reservoir Dogs, which I thought I didn't have. Turned out I do, but I think this cover's much cooler. It's different than mine. I have the other one that you guys are probably more used to seeing. Quentin Tarantino. I also picked this up. I thought this was actually a decent movie. Kong Skull Island. Saw this in the theater with my son, and we had a good time. I normally wouldn't buy any of these movies, but this was also dirt cheap, and it was like this big ass edition. So we got The Hobbit, Battle of Five Armies. It's huge and comes with a bunch of shit. I only saw the first Hobbit movie, and I thought it was just a steaming pile of shit. It was a waste of an hour and a half or whatever. And The Hobbit is one of my favorite books of all time. So the movie was terrible. So normally I wouldn't buy these, but yeah, it was like $1. Got 1 million discs. I've actually heard that this one is a lot better than the first one. So let's just hope that's true. Then we got some VHS. Got Blade Runner, which I already have a copy of, but this is like a different cover. I've actually never seen that. It's not as cool as the original though. But 8mm. This is actually one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. It's a very flawed movie, but it's also really fucking good. At least I think. And as far as acting wise, I think some of Nicolas Cage's most like unhinged, like emotional performances are in this movie. Despite the flaws, I think it's more than worth watching. And we got a couple of X-Files DVDs, or DVDs, VHS. They're just 2 episodes on each tape. So we got that one, Pilot and Deep Throat, first episode, and then this one, Little Green Man and the Host, which the Host is a great episode. I did not pay $3 for that, by the way. I think I got like a quarter. Yay for me. Here's a movie I've only fucking ever heard of, man. I've never seen it, and yeah, so this is kind of a cool find, actually. You've got Lair the White Worm. Pretty stoked to watch that. Surprised to find it at my thrift store in my town. Got the original Star Wars. It's pretty beat up, but it's I mean, from what I remember as a kid, I think this is like the original VHS, man. Oh shit, it says 1990. It's not, it looks like the original one. But anyway, yeah, man. Star Wars. Fucking Hellboy. First Hellboy movie. Absolutely awesome. I'm a massive Hellboy fan. I've likely gushed about that as well. Hold on. I gotta look at my phone real quick. I don't usually do this while I'm recording shit, but kind of timing something. So anyway, got that shit out of the way. By the way, I didn't really talk about too much, like music-wise, what I'm showing here. I have, I got all the main 3 formats here. I have a cassette tape, I got a couple of records, and a shitload of CDs. Older CDs as well as 2018 releases, which at least a few of those are likely to be on my end-of-year list. So, and I got some grails, man. It's not that often that I get grails, that I find them. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till the end to show the grails. I'm gonna make you fucking hang in there with me, hopefully. So I was at one of my local stores, and they usually don't have. I usually can find a couple of cool things here and there, but usually not much. But anyway, I just kind of randomly one time combed through their like bargain bin, cutout bin basically, and found a bunch of. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, most of these are second-rate releases, but still, I mean, they were dirt cheap, and yeah. So I picked them up. Some of these I've heard before, and a lot of them I haven't. So I figured I'd give them a listen or two, and if I don't like them, I'll trade them off, which I do pretty often. So here we go. We have The Eighth Sin by Nocturnal Rites, Swedish, right? Power metal band. It came out on Century Media in 2007. Have yet to hear it. I have heard Nocturnal Rites before. They're a good band. They actually, funny story, they actually, well, they're not the only band to do this, but they actually started off playing death metal. Which is always kind of funny seeing a band shift from death metal to power metal. I think it's weird, but it's happened before. I've vaguely heard of this band and this album before in the past. Vaguely. I haven't heard much about it. It's probably not great, but anyways, Vicious Art. Pick Up the Sick Child. I don't know what that means, but yeah, the hype sticker's pretty cool. Ex-members of Entombed, Grave, and Dark Funeral. Twisted, brutal, utterly violent, vicious art. Came out on Mighty Music, which I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, so yeah, Swedish death metal. Hopefully it's decent. Another Swedish death metal band. Not a massive fan of this band by any means, but like I said, it was dirt cheap. I wasn't going to leave it there. I'll give it a listen. So we got Facebreaker with Dead, Rotten, and Hungry. Facebreaker, I have heard them a little bit. They're more of just kind of like a really groovy death metal band. How would you describe them? Maybe hardcore influenced? Kind of like, what was that one band? There's a band I was going to compare him to, not a death metal band. It's like three fat bald guys from the U.S. They're kind of a hardcore band. They're kind of I don't know. Anyways, they're like a hardcore influenced death metal band. They're not deathcore or metalcore. I mean, these are old guys, you know, playing this style. It's not my cup of tea, but it's okay. Came out on 2007, Pulverized Records. This one I bought just sheerly for the ridiculous cover. I knew it was going to be a piece of shit, and I listened to it last night, and it is a piece of shit. Like I said, I already knew it was going to be. I take that back. I knew it wasn't going to be my cup of tea, but I was kind of hoping it'd be decent. It's not decent, even for, you know, like the deathcore / brutal death metal genre. It sucks, even considering. So I mean, Unique Leader put this out, and in 2018, last year, they should fucking know better. That's kind of sad, even though I'm not a fan of Unique Leader for the most part. But anyways, Within Destruction, album is called Death Wish. Look at the cover, man. I had to get that. I had to. And it was, I think it was like 50 cents. Not surprising. It's 50 cents worth of music on here. I think these guys are from Slovenia. It is, you know, death metal, kind of riding the line between, you know, ridiculous, brutal, slammy death metal and deathcore, and it's terrible. I don't listen to deathcore, and I've heard better deathcore than this. It might be your thing. If you like that style, if you want the CD, let me know. You can trade me anything for it, and I'll give it to you. This I was surprised to see. Actually, more than any of these others, we have Mortician with reanimated dead flesh. This is I think this is their most recent full length, put out on their own Mortician Records label, distributed by Crash Music. Back, by the way, I haven't heard this one. I love Mortician. I'm a big fan. Haven't heard this one though. Will Romer in all his glory. We have another Mortician album here. This is Zombie Massacre Live, also on their own label. Which that's what they've been doing lately. They've just been self-releasing shit, which is cool if you have the means to do that. I'm sure you save a fuck ton of money. And there's a lot of tracks on here. There's 35 tracks. I actually got to see Mortician live a couple of years ago. It was fucking awesome, man. I never, due to where I live mostly, I never thought I would see, I mean, there's many bands I don't think I'll ever see live, but they were definitely on that list. I don't think they tour a lot these days. I don't think they ever toured heavily. But anyways, it was fucking awesome. Will Romer, really nice guy, I gotta say. I told the story, I made a video after I saw them live. But anyways, if you didn't see that, I wanted to get a t-shirt, but for some weird reason, they actually didn't have any for sale. But they had a bunch of CDs. They had Mortician CDs, and they just had boxes of like brutal death metal CDs. So I bought a Mortician CD that I didn't have. I should have had them sign it. I didn't think about that. But anyways, I bought it directly from Will. I handed him the cash, and he reached his hand out and shook my hand for a good couple seconds. I mean, I spent $12. You know, he didn't have to do that. There's probably other people spending more money, and you know, he looked very appreciative. You know, he said, thank you. He just, you know, seemed like a really fucking nice guy. But anyways, moving on, we have Samael with Passage. I'm not a big fan of this era or anything beyond of Samael, but I know a lot of people who really dig this album. I've heard it a bunch of times in the past, and now I own it, so I'll give it some more attention. But in the past, I haven't been into it. I never hated it. It just didn't really click for me. Came out in '96 on Century Media. This version, this is a repress, I think, because this comes also with a bonus CD of one of their side projects. I think this band, the side project is called Zitras, right? That, and what I think is on it, because I've heard it in the past, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember it being, I think it's the same fucking album as, I think it's Passage, but like, just like a symphonic music version of Passage. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I remember it being. I remember it being cool, but really not, I mean, not really my cup of tea. I do like symphonic black metal, but it was just like symphonic music. It wasn't symphonic black metal. But anyway, I'll give it some more listens. Maybe I'll like it a little more than I did before. And then I have, last but not least, from that purchase, 2 releases from the Grotesquerie, which, if you don't know anything about them, the Grotesquerie it's a band with Cam Lee from Massacre and Death and Roga Johansson from Paganizer, Rib Spreader, and like 50 other bands. And I really do like that guy. You know, he's definitely a death metal lifer, and he's a cool guy. I got a lot of respect for him. So anyways, they've put out like three or four albums now, I think. This is the first one, came out on Cyclone Empire in 2010, and it's called Tales of the Coffinborn. Out of all the stuff they've done, I like this one the most. It is basically, it's old school death metal with a strong Lovecraft inspired story. And on this album, maybe all their albums, I can't remember for sure, but definitely on this one, there's a narrative that goes through on before every song, so it tells the story. And this is actually a really fucking sad story, I got to admit. It's basically about this guy who I don't think I've heard it since 2010. It's about this guy who can't remember what happens. His son dies. I can't remember if it's his fault or not. I think it's his son dies because of a mistake on his end or something like that. And so he's devastated, and he goes through great lengths to try and reanimate his dead son. And I know this sounds cheesy, but like me being a dad, I don't know. I found it to be a pretty sad story, and the narrative is really good. It really actually makes you feel stuff. So good album. I really like it. I actually own a promo of it. That's why I'm at least vaguely familiar with it. If anyone is interested in my promo copy, let me know. I would be willing to trade that as well. What it is, my promo copy is, I think it just doesn't have the back. It's got the regular booklet and this regular CD, and I think that's all it has. Anyways, this is the second. I think this is the second album from Grotesquerie. This one's called. I won't be able to pronounce that because it's like something Lovecraft inspired. Sathagua Tales: The Facts and Terrifying Testament of Mason Hamilton. This one I've only vaguely heard in the past since I haven't owned it, so I can't really go into detail about that. I imagine it's kind of more of the same. Not to put it down or anything, but I definitely recommend checking out the first one. If you like it enough, go check out the others, but check out this first album. It's real good, I think. A ways back, maybe a month ago or so, my good buddy Kevin, once again, let me know that Hell's Headbangers were having a sale. They had like 20 or 30 CDs, all on sale for $1. I didn't have a lot of money to spend as I've been moving and shit, but I was like, man, $1 is cool. At least I'll go check them out. And they had a couple that I really like. I really had been wanting anyways. So I grabbed them, and while I was at it, grabbed a couple others just because they were $1. But mainly, I wanted this, the newest Shed the Skin CD, Wheat of Scorn. This came out last year, and I didn't like their first album. I really didn't like it at all. Didn't do anything for me. This album is really fucking good, man. Melodic death metal, but aggressive, evil melodic death metal. Did I show that? Yeah, really fucking good. Like, took me by surprise, Louis. Kind of a super group, I guess. I know a lot of people hate that word, but we got Matt Sorg from Ringworm and other stuff. He's basically an Ohio Cleveland area legend. He's done a bunch of shit. Kyle Severn, we all know Kyle from Incantation, among other stuff. Ed Stevens. Ed, I'm sorry, I don't know much about your musical legacy. And then we have Ash Thomas, another Ohio area legend. Fucking Ash is amazing. His other band, Faith Extractor, definitely check them out as well as, and even some of his older stuff. Another cool fact is Human Furnace from Ringworm also did the artwork. So apparently, something I didn't know, he's a really fucking good artist. Show that again. Really cool artwork. So anyway, Shed the Skin, Hellside Bangers, evil, well-written melodic death metal. Definitely check it out. I'm not even a massive melodic death metal fan, and I was just impressed with how good it was. So I just mentioned Faith Extractor, Ash Thomas's other band, and they had another dollar album. I didn't actually own any Faith Extractor stuff, though I've been wanting it. This is Proverbial Lambs to the Ultimate Slaughter. I haven't heard this one. I don't know when it came out. It's a recent release, I think, but yeah, I'm not positive. I know it's going to be good, because, I mean, Faith Extractor is really fucking good, underrated death metal. So get that as well, no matter what you pay for it. You might not get it for $1, but still grab it. And the other release I wanted was the newest Thronum. Is it Thronum or Thronium? I never know what to call them, but out of Poland. The Tight Death Rope Act Over Rubicon is this one. And I gotta say, man, I've heard a lot of their stuff, and this is... I think this one probably tops everything they've ever done. It still very much sounds like Thronum, but the songwriting was just tight. The writing, I just said it. The songwriting is super tight. I mean, I think this is their best songwriting to date, easily. They're basically a black, old school, raw, Black Death band. Maybe a little less raw this time, but the songwriting is just, I just thought it was a fucking great album. Like I said, I've heard a lot of their stuff, and I think this is their best yet. I think they've definitely outdone themselves. So yeah, and if you like stuff like Nunslaughter and Goat Lord and early Acheron and Graveworm, this definitely would be for you. They've done splits with Nunslaughter and Graveworm. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely of that raw, primal death metal variety. I also wanted this one. We got October 31 with Metal Massacre 31. This is a really cool idea. This was October 31 covering songs from various Metal Massacre releases. Awesome idea. Of course, King Fally would come up with something like that. Band photo of all the guys holding up Metal Massacre vinyl. So what we have on here, we have covers by Death Dealer from Metal Massacre 4. We got Forbidden Evil by Warcry from Metal Massacre 4. We got Omen, Metal Massacre 5, Titanic, Metal Massacre 7, Demon Flight from the first Metal Massacre. Got Aloha from number 2. Got Sacred Blade from number 4. Hollow's Eve from number 6. Final Warning from number 5, and Tyrant, also another band I love, from number 3. So really fucking cool idea. Gotta love King Fally. Or not, I mean, some people don't. He's always been good to me. Here's another band I've always wanted to get some stuff from, and I never have. I've heard their first album, and I thought it was fucking great. So we have black metal from Iceland, who, I mean, a band that predates all the, popular stuff that's going on right now. We got Curse, Slaughter of the Stars. I think this is their second album. Pretty sure it came out in 2006. Came out on blackmetal.com, licensed from Funeral Records Europa. Good old blackmetal.com. Oh man, a lot of this stuff came from blackmetal.com, so that's probably why it's $1. Then I also got a split between Curse and a band called Sictum, I don't know. Don't know anything about them, so yeah, we'll see. Another blackmetal.com release, and these last two are as well. This is a band that I remember kind of making some waves some years back, and I never really gave them much attention. This is Yuval. Sorry about that glare. If you didn't notice already, I'm in a different position than I normally am, so I'm kind of like my window's right there. It's fucking shit up. But anyway, Yuval, black metal, I think from Minnesota. Anyways, October turns ruined. The sun is doing things. Anyways, yeah, I might have heard some of this shit back in the day, but I don't really remember. But I remember hearing a lot of good things about it, so we'll see. And this one I knew absolutely nothing about. Oh yeah, that's right. This because they threw it in for free. They probably had 1 million copies of it, and I did listen to it. I expected it to be bad, and it's actually not that bad. Band is called Ash Macrosa with Incubus Black Metal. I haven't looked up the band. I don't know anything about them, but it's really not that bad. It's definitely raw black metal with kind of like an odd use of melody, which kind of really, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just kind of a melody, a certain type of melody in the guitars that was just really unique, and it kind of kept me entertained, to be honest. There's fucking 19 tracks on here. Will I be listening again? Maybe once or twice more. It's not gonna find its way into my rotation, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think some people might like it maybe more than me, but yeah. Anyways, moving on. This is a random stack. There's no order or theme or anything to these, but man, I'm gonna have to mention Kevin one more time for the third time in this video. My good buddy Kevin knew I was a fan of Sabotage, and he found this at one of his local shops, and he sent it my way. So we got Dead Winter Dead. I had never heard this before, and I haven't listened to it yet. So it's one of their later releases. 90s, I think. Yeah, 95. So yeah, haven't heard it. I do love Sabotage though, mostly the early stuff, but some of the later stuff I like okay as well. I think I've said before also, probably numerous times, when it comes to like poppy stuff, I don't listen to a lot, but I do like Toto, so I grabbed this 1981 album, Turn Back. It's not a very good Toto album, I gotta say. There's definitely something missing on this one. Most Toto albums for me have a good amount of filler on there, but there's always some highlights, and that album just didn't have any highlights, at least in my opinion. Picked this up because I also do like this band as well. Well, at least this album. I've never heard any of their other albums, but we have Duran Duran, Rio. I mean, I like this thing from front to back. I think every track on here is strong. Like I said, not real into pop or even most rock type stuff, but it's a good album. It's fucking really well written, kind of dark pop album. I don't know what to call it. Here's a band that I'm obviously familiar with, as is pretty much everyone nowadays, but I have not spent a lot of time with any of their stuff. I've just kind of heard bits and pieces, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan, but I just kind of, I think this was back when I did it. Yeah, I got this in a trade with one of my local shops. As I mentioned in some of my past videos, I've done a couple trades recently with some of the local record stores and got some credit. And they don't always have a ton of stuff that I want, so sometimes I kind of have to kind of go out on a limb and maybe grab something that that I wouldn't normally buy. So anyways, we have Panopticon, Kentucky, God damn, the sun is going down. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Let's get rid of that shit. Fuck you, sun. There's nothing. Star. Alright. Sorry, man. I think that'll help. But anyways, Panopticon, Kentucky. This seems to be one of their most loved albums by the the big fans, and I've listened to it twice. I think it's good. I like some parts, but I'm not a big fan. So yeah, the presentation is really fucking nice. So good job, Marty. Vine Room Recordings, my good buddy Marty. Got a real nice booklet, lots of cool pictures, and then it's kind of like a gatefold. It's cool. It's like a gatefold vinyl. And then you pull this out, and you have this cardboard sleeve. That on one side, that on the other side. So yeah, man. Presentation is super nice. And it's a good album. I mean, some people are just go apeshit over this, but it's just not for me, I guess. But I'm not going to give up on it yet. I'll give it more listens. I'll listen to it from time to time, and some releases take years for me to get into, so I'm just kind of weird that way. It's no testament to the there's no lack of quality. I'm not trying to say anything negative about the album. Here's an old classic here. We got Supper by Bad Religion. Original Epitaph Records press. I love Bad Religion. I don't like a lot of punk, but I fucking love Bad Religion. And so I was real happy to have that. Yeah, I had never owned that album before. And I was also surprised to find this at one of my local shops. Really surprised to see this, actually. Because lately, it's a band I've been listening to a lot lately, and I've gushed over them before. So we got the Goddamn Gallows with Trial. This is their first album. And to be honest, I don't like it very much. Just because the band that they have become, they are just so fucking good. And this is their first album. I mean, they haven't found their footing yet. They've changed quite a bit since then, and they're like 10 times better than they ever were. So going from one of their albums, I actually have it over here because I've been listening to it a lot lately. Check this album out, man. Seven Devils, so fucking good. I can't go into detail because I'm running out of time, but check it out. Check the band out, but definitely check out Seven Devils. It's fucking amazing. Pick this up for cheap on Discogs. We have Vasago, I don't know. Nights from Hell. This is an old, it's from like, what year did this come out? I don't know, mid 90s. It's a band from Sweden. There's guys from Lord Belial and probably something else on here. I just listened once. It's okay. I mean, it's nothing, it's definitely nothing amazing, but giving something just one listen for me is, I don't like to talk too much about music that I've only heard once. I gotta listen at least 3 or 4 times to kind of really absorb it. I'm dumb and I don't pay attention worth a shit anymore. And from that same seller, I got this. I think it's a single or an EP, but Scorn with Lick Forever Dog. I fucking love Scorn when it comes to. I don't listen to a lot of electronic type stuff, but Scorn are definitely for me pretty fucking awesome. If you don't know much about Scorn, it was old Mick Harris after he left Napalm Death. He basically got out of metal and now he does like electronic type shit. And Scorn is awesome. Even if you aren't too into electronic music, if you just like dark, moody, atmospheric music, at least give it a shot. You might like it. I do. Back to Bad Religion, we have Stranger Than Fiction. One of their later releases, definitely not super well loved by the the old diehards, but I'm kind of one of those people that I think I don't think Bad Religion have done a bad album. Controversial opinion, but I really don't. So even their more more mellow stuff that they did later on, I think is still pretty good. Not as good as their early shit, but it's still still not bad. I can still listen to it. This I got this from a trade with my buddy Andy.